Hey guys, today I'm gonna bring you a battle against JoltsBolt. This is actually a very nice person and a great battler, and if you haven't subscribed to her, then you should. I'll put the link in the video description. So I start off with my lead Crobat, and she starts off with an Uxie. And Uxies can be really annoying, putting up the light screen and some other screening, and I just decide to go for the taunt here, but she expects that very nicely and goes for the U-turn. So now she goes into her Wailord, and Wailord have like an amazing amount of hit points. So I just decide to go for the U-turn, expecting an Ice Beam, and I go to Frutella, who takes special attacks pretty well. And she goes for the Ice Beam, and Frutella takes it like a beast, so yeah, pretty awesome on my part. So now I'm debating what she would do, and I just decided to go for the Wish here, because yeah, then I can Wish support anything. So here I was expecting her to expect me to switch, so I just went for the Flamethrower, and yes, she went for a Sword Dance here, so that was really amazing because Sword Dance kills Scizors, and the Scizor would have been a huge threat to my team, so I'm glad that I have taken out the Scizor at this point. So now she's debating what to go into, and she goes into Uxie. And I was predicting the screening here, but I just decided to go for the Toxic here, because Toxic can be a real killer, so I just went for it. Then I was expecting the screening after the Stealth, so I just decided to go for the Wish and pass it on to a Pokemon that gets hurt by the Stealth. And in this battle I'm bringing my Gyarados, so when I switch into Gyarados, my Gyarados will get a huge amount of hit points back. So now my opponent uses U-turn, but I was expecting a Reflect here, but I just went to Gyarados, and the Wish will heal Gyarados to full health again, so that's amazing. So now she is debating what to go into, and yeah, she's a really great player, so she's like debating and stuff, and she goes into Jirachi. And here I was debating that Jirachi would use like Trick or something, so I just went for my Red Eyes, because most of the Jirachis are wearing Choice Scarf and then they go for the Trick, but my Red Eyes is wearing Choice Scarf as well. So, but she went for the Thunderbolt, and that was really amazing on my part. So here I just retrieved my my Flygon. I don't know why I didn't go for the U-turn, that was pretty silly on my part. But I just go into my Clefable here. So now she goes for the U-turn again, and I didn't know what she would go into, so I just went for an attacking move, and I just went for the Flamethrower. And at this point I wanted to see if this was a mix Dragonite, so I just went for the Protect, but she goes for the Outrage, and I was like, no, Outrage, and she went for the Dragon Dance, I'm sorry. So she went for the Dragon Dance, and it did like really a lot to me. So now I was predicting her to predict me to go for another Protect, so I just went for the Wish, but she doesn't over predict, and yeah, she goes for the EQ and finishes me off very nicely. So I lost Clefable pretty early in this game, and yeah, I knew things were going to get hard for me at this point. So now I was debating what Pokemon to go into, and yeah, I was really looking at my options here. So I just decided to go for Gyarados, because Gyarados has the Intimidate, and even though it is hit by Stealth Rocks, I just wanted to go for it. So at this point I go for the Stone Edge, but yeah, Dragonite goes for the Outrage, and with a Life Orb that is pretty much enough to finish off my bulky Gyarados, so that just shows how epic Dragonite is. So I'm like really thinking what to go into, and I didn't know, but yeah, at that point I just know, because I know that my Crobat is really faster than Dragonite, so I just decide to go for a Brave Bird, and Brave Bird finishes off the Dragonite, so really amazing. So now I'm just thinking which Pokemon I haven't seen of hers, and I was like saying, luckily you didn't bring your Jolteon, because Jolteon is her ace Pokemon and it's really strong, and it would have raped my team actually. But now she goes into Jirachi, and I didn't know what to expect of Jirachi, so I just decided to go for the damage and go for the U-turn. and she goes for the Thunderbolt, and Thunderbolt does really nothing to my Power Flower. So at this point I was expecting a switch and decided to set up the Sword Dance. And she goes for the Iron Head, but she gets the critical hit, and I was like, no, because without the critical hit it would have done like not that much. So I just went for the Earthquake, and yeah, Earthquake does a shitload to that Jirachi. And yeah, she just simply goes for another Thunderbolt and finishes off my Venusaur. So yeah, pretty nice play on her part. So now I just decide to go into my Flygon, and I go for the Fire Punch, thinking it would finish it off, but it doesn't, and she survives, and she just barely survives the Fire Punch here. So I Fire Punch again, and she goes for the Wish, and yeah, that finishes off the Jirachi here. But now she obviously knows that my Flygon is Scarfed or Banded or something like that, so she forces me to switch here, and I just go into my Gallade. And Gallade has pretty awesome special defenses, and Wailord has like not too great special attack, and the Ice Beam does like really nothing. So at this point I just decide to stay in with Gallade and go for the close combat, and she will predict that very well, because she goes into Uxie, and Uxie resists the close combat, and it does like really nothing to the Uxie. So I have to switch here, and I decide to go into Batwoman, because Batwoman can heal herself with Roost. And yeah, I think that I was just waiting for the Toxic to finish off the Uxie here, but I played bad. I should have gone for the Brave Bird first and then gone for the Roost, because my Batwoman can outspeed nearly anything. So yeah, she has like 3 Pokemon now, and she goes into Heatran, and I was like, oh my god, I fear Heatran. So I was debating what to do at this point, and I was thinking and thinking and thinking again, and yeah, she has just gotten a Reflect up, so if I would hit her with a physical attack, that would have done really nothing. So I just decide to go for the Stalwarts and like keep roosting to burn off some turns of the Reflect, because I just know that Crobat can do a lot to Heatran, and I really need Flygon and Gallade here. So I just keep roosting out, hoping that the Reflect will wear off, but it doesn't. And yeah, I just decide to go for the Brave Bird here, because yeah, Crobat is going to die anyway. So I go for the Brave Bird, and she goes for the Flamethrower, and that's bye-bye to my Crobat. And I would just decide to go into Red Eyes, because I was expecting her to switch, because she has her Uxie ready, and I just decided to go for the U-turn. And yeah, U-turn finishes off, does not finish off the Uxie, but the Poison will. So I just go into my Gladiator, because Gladiator has like really amazing special defenses, and I was hoping that it could survive an attack from a Choice Scarfed Heatran. And I was going for the close combat, and my Gallade survives, so that's like 7 hit points, and I go for the close combat, and a Banded close combat will definitely kill off the Heatran. So now she only has Wailord, and Wailord has like a lot of HP, but I know that a Choice Banded close combat will do a lot, and she goes for the rest, but yeah, I know that I'm going to win here, because another close combat will bring her down to very few hit points, and yeah, I can use my Flygon on if she manages to finish off my Gallade. So Flygon will eventually finish this battle off with an Outrage, and that's like pretty good game. So yeah, really good game, Jess. I really enjoyed battling you. I hope to battle you again someday, but I'm sure we will. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle as well. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and see you next time, guys.